Hi, this is Cory, Wright.
Hi, I'm Komal.
Hello, my name is Brian Howle.
Hi, my name is Alexis Ticzon, and we are Group 5.
Cyber terrorism is currently the biggest threat to any company. Many private businesses, as well as government agencies, have lost hundreds of thousands of sensitive customer profiles, including names, addresses, and credit card information, and has been seen available on the dark web. Many hackers gain access to a company through phishing emails. Tech giant Intel felt they needed to step up security for their devices to combat this issue, so they introduced their new IP called Intel Authenticate that will hardwire a physical user authentication system. With technology advancing at an unprecedented rate, corporations are constantly upgrading their systems to be on the bleeding edge of the market. From simple PIN and password to thumbprint and even facial recognition, security measures must grow and evolve the technologies they wish to protect. To regain security amongst these new devices, companies have adopted many different methods of authenticating its users.
Two-factor authentication is a method of logging in that requires not only a password, but a device on your person, such as a smartphone. Our studies have found that two-factor authentication methods have greatly reduced the number of successful breaches of company data. The story I'm about to tell you could have easily been avoided through the implementation of a two-factor authentication system. On the morning of Black Friday 2013, a group of unknown hackers breached the outlet supercenter Target and obtained files containing the credit card data of up to 70 million individual customers. Hackers were able to gain access through Target's HVAC vendor to gather necessary network credentials. Nearly 1,800 stores were affected. By the end of 2014, Target has sustained a total loss of $252 million in damages alone. This is where Intel Authenticate could have come into play. It would have required the hacker to physically be at the HVAC admin terminal in order to gain access to Target's systems.
Thanks, Brian. Hi, my name is Alexis Ticzon, and now I will identify the threats, attacks, and vulnerabilities. With the digital age comes digital attacks. No longer does a hacker need to be physically at a terminal to steal information. Hackers can sit across the world and gain access to an entire network, not leaving a single trace. Attacks like password cracking, account hijacking, brute force, and dictionary attacks can be executed from remote areas. As shown below, most attacks are usually unknown, and the second largest being account hijacking. Companies have attempted two-factor verification by using card readers, PIN numbers, voice response, and smartphone applications. However, there are some vulnerabilities. Access cards, smartphones, and laptops can be lost or stolen. Smartphones use SMS text messages for sending verification codes that show up on the lock screen. A thief can see it and easily enter it onto a browser. If the phone is stolen, hackers can simply press a button saying, "Yes, this is me." SMS can even be intercepted and decrypted over Wi-Fi without even needing a user's device. PIN numbers can be obtained through keyloggers or shoulder surfing. Even your own voice can just be simply recorded. As fantastic as physical tokens are, they are entirely dependent on the weakest point of any organization: people. And next, the approach to resolving this issue. Intel Inc. hopes to solve this issue with physical tokens by centralizing verification to their newest chipsets using a new IP called Intel Authenticate. This new system will launch with new laptops and desktops using the Intel i7 Skylake chipsets. The way it works is after entering a password, a user has a registered phone or smart device that is paired with a specific Skylake computer within 10 feet or so. It then looks for the smart device's unique Bluetooth signal. Once connected, the chipset looks at the device to look for similarities from previous logons to make sure that it is the original device. This data is stored in a secure memory area within the motherboard. Every login will look for different similarities, such as the Wi-Fi account, personal contacts, fingerprint scans, etc. Once it has found these, it will authenticate the user and allow them to sign on.
Hi, I'm Komal. I'm going to talk about the advantages and disadvantages of Intel Authenticate. The greatest advantage of this system is that for the time being, it will prevent hackers and phishers from gaining access to a network without having the smart device and the physical chip and computer next to each other. It also helps save the IT department's time since password resets are quite common and frequent these days. Intel provides embedded security protection in order to control the misuse and stolen credentials of many users and data breaches. It provides high identity protection, especially in the hardware. This method of authentication requires 2 or more factors to verify the information to let the person get into the system. This process allows the provider information to get captured, encrypted, matched, and stored in the system. Multi-factor authentication and easy deployment process are 2 main advantages of Intel Authentication. Now, talking about the disadvantages of Intel Authenticate, there are many cons of implementing Intel Authenticate into our system. Compatibility, long and short-term cost, the user error and acceptance, and the overall time to incorporate into the current system. Intel Authenticate works only on certain kind of Windows operating system, that is Windows 7, Windows 8, and Windows 10. It doesn't work on Apple computers, Linux operating system, or even on older version of Windows. On top of that, another major disadvantage of the system is that the older Intel chipsets cannot be upgraded to use this new method. This would mean that the companies would have to get rid of all i3 and i5 systems as well as pre-Skylake i7 systems to purchase the new chipsets. This would be very expensive and costly for the company. Intel Authenticate also requires users' smartphones to continually give out its GPS location in order to get the geolocator authentication to work properly. This might cause security privacy problems. Some users might also lose their phone, which might cause the data breach, and the thief can have access to all their private information.
In conclusion, with the current exponential growth and advancements in technology, security breaches will continue to be a prominent liability for any company. Cybersecurity is a constantly changing field, and more effort is required to protect the assets of a company. Even though there are no one perfect solution or one-size-fits-all security measure, Intel Authenticate is a valid solution and a step in the right direction. A security professional should always remember it should never be, we don't have enough time to do it right, but we have enough time to do it again, because again might already be too late.